definitely puts himself out there to, like, his comedy is like laugh at me.
Yeah,
and it's very. I like when he was doing that bathing thing in the Eastville Mall.
That shit was hilarious.
Hey, that was mad funny. I like he did his New York skit too.
Yeah.
He was walking through New York and everybody was like, "You."
All right, you ready?
He's a funny guy. We're good to go.
We're good to go.
Parents strongly caution the following programs are intended for mature audiences over the age of 18. These programs may contain some material that many parents would not find suitable for children and may include intense violence, sexual situations, coarse language, and suggestive dialogue.
Hey everybody, this is Vianci from this is a Let's Talk After Dark podcast. With me as always, I have
Benny,
Maverick.
And again, we are the Let's Talk After Dark podcast where everything's on the table and nothing is off limits. I am sorry, I am extremely hungover. But today, honestly, it's story time with Mav. So I want you to kick us off because it looks like you had a pretty interesting weekend.
or morning. Hey,
It has been an interesting weekend. But yeah, for this morning, man, so it was a thing. I actually get up early for once. I'm proud of myself. You know, spark up with the missus.
You feel like there's nothing you can't accomplish, right?
Yeah, when you wake up early, you actually on time. You feel like I had a
You
half
get all
an
your
hour.
shit done before 12 and you just have the rest of the day to do it.
Exactly.
I love waking up early if I can.
that's a problem. So today I did, and you know, I'm getting ready. Got a couple of shows coming up.
When?
I have one 25th of this month, February 1st, February 29th, and March 14th so far.
Nice.
Yeah. Those are shows I'm hosting, and then I got a show in Mohegan for the...
You got Mohegan?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Look at you, big time.
It's just trying a little thing, you know. It's just trying a little thing.
Big dog,
just trying to hang out with some people down at the casino, you know.
Yeah, man.
Probably burn all the money I ever make.
But that's what you're supposed to do on drugs and women.
Exactly. Well, speaking of women.
Yes.
Speaking of women, so this morning...
And drugs.
Right? And drugs. You know, I'm sitting there. I see this little cutie walk up to a car.
Yeah.
You know, nobody else around. So I'm like, oh, okay, maybe she needs some help.
What time is it?
This is it's probably like 9:30ish.
What was she wearing?
Shoot, 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 hours.
2 hours ago on a Sunday.
She had like some UGG boots on, some jeans, and you know, like a nice coat, jacket, and stuff like that. She looked decent.
Yeah.
You know, she didn't look like your typical like crackhead, I'm gonna beg you for money type shit.
Okay.
You know, so she's like, excuse me, sir.
So I feel like location matters too. Like, where were you?
I was over around like Oak Street.
No, give everybody a heads up because they all about to hit the same shit.
Yo, this is like semi-border, like one of the hood areas in Springfield, I guess. It was around the Forest Park area, but
Yeah.
X. Was it X?
it was around the X, but more around like White Street, Oak Street,
Yeah,
around that
okay,
area.
okay.
You know,
By Dickinson and all that.
Dickinson, all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I just like, you know, I took a scenic route. I like some of the houses and stuff like that
Yeah.
down there. So anyway, so this girl, so I thought maybe she might need something. You know, she didn't look like she was like I'm gonna beg you for money type shit. So I'm like, okay, cool. She comes out and she rolls down the window. First thing she's like, yo, I need some help. So I'm instantly I grab my phone. Like, you need me to call the cops? She's like, no, don't call the cops. I'm like, okay, so what you need some help? She's cute.
Her phone will ring.
Yeah. Yo, so I'm like, what ends up happening is she's like, she's short on cash and she needs some money. She wants to know if I would take a blowjob. You know? So I'm like, oh, this girl's a prostitute.
She's a lady of the.
She's
evening.
a lady of the, but it's early morning. So, you know, it's
Red
early
flag
morning.
immediately.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, but you know me, I want to make some jokes out of this on y'all. I'm gonna fuck with her.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like if she gonna stop here, I'm like, yo, hold on, let me pull over real quickly. Mistake number one, I pulled over. Right? I got time though, so I was like, yo, I can make a funny story.
So were you at a red light and she came up to your car?
I was at a red light. She was saying, excuse me, sir, from the side and stuff like that. So I went on the one. She said, need some help and stuff like that. And then I said, you know, I couldn't hear her, so I told her, come over.
Yeah.
Which, you know,
Baby,
they did that on purpose. They did that shit on purpose, you know. So anyway, so she's giving me like, oh, you know, that she needs this money for this, and you know, she's like, oh, but don't worry, you're gonna enjoy it. You're really benefiting because all I want is $20, blah blah blah. And I'm sitting there like, well, $20 for a blowjob. I'm like, shit, that's kind of cheap.
You thinking about it?
You know, nah, I wasn't thinking about it. Listen,
It crosses mine.
my sex life's so good, I don't have to think about it. I don't even think
you just
about
go for
it. Yeah. Why do I have to pay? Why do I have to pay? I don't never have to go for it. I don't ever have to pay. Well, I would never pay for sex, man. Nah, that's not even a fantasy of mine. To pay for sex.
It isn't mine. No, like,
I mean,
you
I
ever
probably
see like that movie with Hugh Jackman
my
where
wife.
they had the little black cards and stuff like that, and like it was like a secret society, and like you get a new person every week. You guys ever see that shit?
Sounds like some fucking human trafficking shit.
But it was all consenting adults that like all engaged, and like it's really cool like storyline. But you know, it's for another day.
Yeah, definitely. You gotta let
Sorry
me know
about
the name
that.
of that movie. I gotta watch
Sorry
that.
about that.
But yeah, so I mess with, and then you know, she looks over. She's like, "Oh shoot!" So I look over. There's a dude, right? She's like, "Oh, that's my pimp. Yo, can you
Papa
know?"
Midnight.
Huh? Nah, he was white. So I was like, you know,
If he's white, it must be I.
it must be. I was like, damn. She's just like, yeah, you know, he's. I'm like, yo. I said, listen. I said, I'll take you to the police station and you'll be safe, right? And she's like, no, I'm good. And start walking away. So I just saw her. He's like, yo. So I get out the car, right?
Oh, you're bugging.
As soon, because I felt bad. Like I was like, yo, if I see
thought
this
she
young
might have
girl,
really been in trouble,
this is her pimp. I don't want. Let me, you know, I'm trying now to be Captain Save a Hoe, right? Yo, I got out the car. This dude runs up to me, gun drawn. Get down. He was an undercover. The girls are undercover. It was a fucking sting.
But that's not like, all right.
But
That's not a sting. Like I could see like
it's not.
You know
But
what I'm saying? That's
the guy was
basically
explaining.
like, you know what I'm saying?
He was explaining to me. So putting long story short, we sat there. I talked to him. I told him what was happening. I told him what I was doing. You know, another dude came by. I knew who he was, stuff like that. So they're like, yo, he's a good person. Don't worry, you know, stuff like that. Like, yo, you don't joke around like this. I'm like, well, I need material. This was a perfect opportunity.
See, you niggas trying to be funny.
I was trying to be
End up in jail.
right.
Yeah, but at least I still got a funny thing from
With a
it.
mug shot and shit. Like,
Shit, I would have been looking like fucking what's his name? Looking all crazy. Shit, Men of Honor. What's his name? The dude who played the black dude, Cuban Gooding Jr.
Yeah.
You know how crazy he looked? That
So like, all right, two things. Why the fuck did you get out the car?
Because you know what, I was really gonna try to talk some sense into her because I believe that everybody
Deserves a chance.
but also like if you're doing sex work, you're allowed to do sex work, right? But if you're doing sex work and the way she was making it seem like there's this guy was controlling her, like she didn't want to be there, she didn't want to do it. Yo, I know people with resources could brought her down to the police station. From there, she could find a social worker. From there, she could get back on her feet.
So I understand, like, because it's 9:30. It's not like it's late at night. It's not like it's dead in the morning. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's 9:30, so it's a decent hour. Like, if somebody really did need help, if she said I needed some money, like, I would have been like, okay, I got, you know, like what's wrong? So I'll give you a blowjob for someone. Like, first of all, what bad bitch is walking up to your car anyway in this day and age, right? Like, what attractive woman is walking up to anybody's car?
It's 2020. I don't know. New life, new me. But
like,
I need to get out of debt. Let me go suck some dick.
Yeah, but like, why don't she got an OnlyFans? Like, why don't she got a premium Snap?
You know what?
Like, if it's that bad, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, did she have a cell phone? Like,
I don't know.
you know what I'm saying? But like, I don't think that's a sting operation. A sting operation is when you know that there's illegal activity going on and that you're trying to stop it. Like, if there was a prostitution ring going on, right? Not a nigga looking for bitches or a girl,
Or Mav trying to save some hoes.
but like, yeah, or Matt trying, yeah, or you being a genuinely concerned individual about like what's going on. Because never once did you say, okay, let's go do this blowjob. Like you were like, if you need me to call the police, I will. If you need me to take you to the station, I will. And homeboy still jumped out the car with his gun drawn, or walked up on you with his gun drawn. You see what I'm saying? Like, to me, that's not a sting operation. A sting operation is me knowing that this nigga's a pimp and he's pimping out these girls, right? Or he's the one shoving these girls out into these situations. This is human trafficking. We have to find a way to infiltrate that and get him down, or dead to rights kind of thing. That's a sting operation.
Yeah.
This is, we are cops and we are bored. This is basically an aggressive traffic stop. Like, this is an aggressive speed trap kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, we're not out, we're supposed to be protecting and serving at the call of our citizens. They're not doing that. They are literally saying like, okay, we're bored and we need to show that we're doing something and people's taxpayers are worth something. So you know what? Let's get our most attractive lady that we have on the force. Let's put her in some Uggs, like you said, Uggs jeans. Have her looking aight, you know what I'm saying? And then have her walk up to dudes' cars and say, hey, do you want a blowjob? Like, that to me is, like, what does that sound like? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not police work, my nigga. Like, that's not stopping crime. That's creating a situation for there to be crime.
But you
feel me?
There's been many stories before, and I should have.
Am I wrong on that?
No, you're right, because the thing is, like, there's this I should have known. There was this young kid I used to mentor. And he got in trouble for that. Because this girl was walking by, she was hollering at him, he was just hollering around and stuff like that, and he actually got in trouble. And his mom was talking to me about it. She's like, yeah, he has to do like some public service work and everything like that.
And he had to take a course.
Yeah. No, he was young though. He was like a high school kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So but the thing about it is, like, when do you know to say, hey, listen, fuck out of here, I'm a cop. You know what I mean? I know dudes before who had, this late night stuff walking around. People come up to him and they're like, yo, I know you. You know what I mean? And it blows. I just think those, like, going, like what you're saying, I just think those aren't necessary stings. Like
Those aren't stings.
Catching a big ring of sex.
Or even a small one, but not setting people up, like not setting innocent people up just because y'all need something to put on the books that y'all were doing something with your, you know what I'm saying? You're setting people up. Like, that to me is crazy. Like, I could see if we know that homeboy in this house is selling mad drugs out of this house, right? And I'm a cop, but I can't prove it. So what I do is I post to be a drug addict. You know what I'm saying? If you sell me drugs, bomb. That's a sting. That's going undercover.
Exactly.
Like what they're doing is basically creating a situation, because let's be real. You see a girl with a fat ass, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's walking up to my car. Or if I just see it on the side of the road, I'm rolling my window down, hey, mama, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. If I see a cute girl and it's 9:30 in the morning, so I'm not thinking anything of it. Like, ain't nobody doing nothing crazy at 9:30 in the morning. I can see if it was 3 in the morning. I can see if it was 2 in the morning. I can see if it was 11:30 at night. Like, you know what I'm saying? But like, if they're creating a circumstance where they could, like, you don't realize, like, I know you're making a joke of it, but my nigga, your face. If that would have went any other sideways, at that no, and I'm not, and I'm not even joking right now. Like what's crazy about it is that, man, if you don't even realize that if that cop didn't show up and said he knew you and you were a good guy, your mugshot would have been on Mass Live Monday.
Oh no,
you know what I'm saying?
I don't think it would have been
like
that.
no. It, like I said, I've seen it happen, and I've seen people lose their jobs. I've seen people lose everything.
I've seen people.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And not even be convicted guilty just because of a mugshot. I've seen people lose everything. Like, your face would have been on Mass Live, your picture everywhere, every job you would have applied for. They can't get rid of that mugshot. That doesn't go concealed once the case is thrown out.
Yeah.
Like, that mugshot exists, and if you go to apply for a job and somebody just Googles your name, that mugshot comes up, and you know what it looks like? You were soliciting prostitution.
I was helping a girl through college.
But you were soliciting prostitution.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And now all of a sudden people are looking at you like you're a fucking sex offender.
How you
see what I'm saying?
Maz's mugshot would have looked
Like that.
I would have been smiling.
I know that's not the charge.
Like,
I know that's not the charge, but that's how people would look at you.
No, yeah, as a perv.
Yes.
You can't work anywhere because what about these other women?
Right.
If he's willing to pay for sex, what else is he willing to do?
Right, exactly.
But
and in your mind, you're just like, yo, do you really need help?
But that's the mindset that I feel, unfortunately, a lot of people have when it comes to any sexual acts. Let's be honest. You go to Vegas, you can pay for sex.
It's legal.
That's fine.
Yeah,
it's legal. So no one will judge you. But you pay for sex anywhere outside is legal. It's like bad. So it's like the same thing with weed. You pay for, weed outside of a legal state.
It's bad.
It's bad. You're horrible. You're a druggie.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I just think some things need to be changed. But speaking of change, should we change the topic and talk about this whole Iran shit? That's what I really want to talk about.
Yeah, I before we do that, I just want to, like, break down the fact that, like, I think that if that's what, like, there are people who are really need help. There are people who are really in trouble. There are people who are really fucked up. There are people who commit real crimes.
Yes.
There are people who really do need to be stopped. And I believe our police force needs to stop fucking and trying to set up innocent people and start actually taking down the problems that we do have. There are kids. I got that news alert app, right? There are people literally getting shot every day. Kids who are disappearing. You see what I'm saying? Like, They found that 10-year-old boy who was in the Connecticut River who had passed away. Like, There are people who really need help. There are crimes really happening.
They find both of them, didn't they?
Yes, they did. But they were, God rest their soul. You know what I'm saying? There are things that are really, really happening in this world, and even in our little city, there are things that are really happening that are really bad. And you mean to tell me at 9:30 in the morning, what y'all want to do is set up a guy like you, who don't do nothing wrong? You see what I'm saying? They want to set up a guy like you.
Everyone, the thing is, I do understand why they do it though. There's everybody.
It's not like they have videotapes of you doing it frequently.
But the thing is,
like
everybody has a dark side. They're trying to catch. Remember that crazy dude they caught off a page who had that house with the
bodies,
women, with the bodies and the women. They caught him because they saw a tail light, and as soon as they pulled him over, the woman started bugging out.
No, and you're supposed to have both your taillights. That is a driving hazard. Like if a cop pulls you over, they're not supposed to ticket you, but they're supposed to give you a warning and let you know. Like that was just a lucky situation. As a matter of fact, one of my friends who's a cop was the one that brought that dude down.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Shout out to him.
Yeah, he's a fucking hero, dude. Right? Like but like that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
But like at 9:30 in the morning, dressing up a cop to get you. Like a guy like you know what I'm saying?
Well, it could have been anybody.
That's what I'm saying. Like you are, but you don't have a record. You see what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. You work for a living.
That helps me out not having a record.
No. But what I'm saying is like, you don't have a record. You don't have a history of being in like the newspaper of doing something fucked up. Like there's nothing about your name that is tainted where you should be targeted. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I get the color of your skin. I get the color of my skin, but there's nothing.
No, but there's nothing.
But
I
there's
know what
nothing
you're saying.
on paper that says you are a bad guy. You see what I'm saying? Like so, for them to be setting you up when there are really bad people out there, it's fucked up.
I just think what the thing is. That's what a trap. It's fishing. You throw the net out there and you see what you can catch, and if it's something that you let it go. If it's not,
that's true. To play devil's advocate, you never know. Matt could have pulled over and fucking.
I could have had
took her home and chopped her up.
You know what I mean?
And they would have got somebody off the street that didn't chop somebody up.
You never know.
So
in their way, they're trying. I know they've put lots of research in the best way to try to figure out how to do this and everything. I just think, from my standpoint, a learning point is. Don't joke around. You know what I mean? Like somebody. I mean, I'm still gonna do that shit. But
all I'm saying is there is enough bad out there.
Wait, real quick.
You don't
so
have
the
to
episode "Don't Joke Around" is that the title? No,
story,
not yet.
Not yet.
Story time.
Story time with Mav. No,
we'll
figure this out later.
Joke around.
Yeah. So
I
don't
miss opportunity is thrown out there.
don't joke. Don't joke around's not bad though. I can go with that.
We'll keep it in the holster for now.
All right, yeah. Keep one in the chamber.
Right,
But no, my thing is though, there's enough bad out there where we should probably be taking care of that bad before we start introducing new bad.
You know what? Because we're on the topics of bad and cops like that. I was thinking, I always think of like ways to make the shit easier. Like, all right, first of all, most of the streets are like nasty. Mm-hmm. We have people in jail doing for petty shit. Mm-hmm. I feel like people in jail for petty shit should just be, give them
like marijuana crimes, where it's legal now in the state.
Yeah, all those people on marijuana crimes should be out on like house arrest doing shit for the city.
They should be free. It's legal now.
It's legal now, but at the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's kind of like I feel about that. I mean, it wasn't legal at the time. It wasn't legal at the time. Get it the straight pass.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's kind of no. Here's the thing, like
you still fucked up in the past. You know what I mean?
You got nephews now, right? Because you don't have kids. But like me as a dad, like shit, I used to get beat for. My son does it now. My mom's like, "Oh, it's okay. It ain't that bad. You did it, but
grandparents got soft.
Yo, soft as
grandparents
hell, man.
Soft.
I'm like, yo, you used to kick my ass.
I thought I was gonna die.
My son over here saying, he'll say what or yes and stuff like that. And I just called you over here. I'm like, I said what? I got beat.
What wasn't in my vocabulary? What and why were not in my vocabulary?
Oh my gosh! And sometimes it's just because you just you what you don't even mean it in a rude way.
Why are you asking me questions? Now they're like explaining themselves and shit.
like do this. Why? Like hell no, like
that's why, nigga.
Right? Because I said so was my mom's favorite word. Like now, like my nephew does some dumb shit, and then my mom's just like, "Well, you can't do it because of the." I'm like, "What?"
Like, see, I didn't know that I couldn't do it because of that.
Yeah, the thing is, like, when you
I just didn't do it anymore.
You're just waiting because y'all, I want to see how this asshole about to get. He about to learn what?
Yeah.
Right. Hold on.
Like it's like what? Nothing happens. I'm like,
you said like you missed something. Like what did it?
Where'd the ass whooping come? Like where's it? Like, you whoop my ass. Like now, but also then again, like these parents are. I love every one of my nephews and nieces. But I'm noticing a very pussification America. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like we used to get whoopings. Like
you gotta understand where we got beat from though. We got beat out of the fact that it's broken down to the fact where when we were owned as slaves and we didn't do what we said, or they asked us one time, we got beat. So that's training of how to raise your children. I know a lot of cultures that don't beat their kids, and I know some cultures who do beat their kids. I know in India, this kid, this girl I used to date, her cousin used to just get the shit beat out of him because he brought home B's. He would have to sit there and do his homework. Nigga needed a tutor.
Damn.
But because he couldn't understand it and his dad wasn't going to pay for a tutor because he couldn't afford it,
right.
He got beat. You know what I mean? People get beat everywhere. So I hear what you're saying. You know, there's a difference of beating your kids. There's sometimes how our parents beat it where they were tired, exhausted, and everything, and just wanted to, you know, just do once, listen to me once, slap, you know, because there was a lot of frustration. And then sometimes beatings, like I'm not going to lie, I popped my son.
Yeah.
But it's a pop. And then after that, it's a conversation.
I never got a conversation.
You know what I mean?
Get the belt.
Or sometimes it's a conversation before you get popped because I'm gonna let you know why I'm going to pop you and why did you do that. You know, and sometimes after that conversation,
I feel like
need to be
it
popped.
shouldn't be that order. You should pop them first and then explain it because they're like, all right, we already had this conversation. I think I'm good.
Nah.
Could you imagine?
It's almost like court though.
Sitting there waiting for the beating. Like, yeah, he's telling you now. Listen, I'm gonna beat your ass. But
like,
first,
look, you
I
fucked
to
up.
talk to you, okay?
Like you shouldn't be doing that type of
like,
shit.
What do you say right before you whip his ass? Are you ready?
Right?
Like that ass.
All right,
So I say,
now.
are you ready? Yo, one time before, my son just looked at me. He's like, Dad, can I just get the spanking? Like he didn't even.
I don't even want to have a conversation. The conversation is worse than the spanking now because I'm anticipating the spanking. Not, like I don't know. Like I see like my mom put it really well one day when she was like, I don't need these kids asking me why because one day it'll save their life. Like if you're about to cross a busy street and you're a child, you're about to cross a busy street and I say stop and you say why and you keep going, you're going to get hit.
Yeah.
Like I need you to if you really need an explanation, I'll talk to you later about it. But when I say something, you fucking do it right now. Like, you know what I mean? And then we can talk about it later or not because I'm a fucking adult and I don't owe you an explanation for anything. No. Like, fuck that.
I don't. But see, that's that right there is the only thing I have to disagree with you on.
I'm excited to see this generation of kids grow up. I'm excited to see this entitled generation. Like if I knew timeout or a talking was all I was going to get, if I was bad, I you know what I'm saying? Like if I knew that, like I see it now with these kids. Like timeout, you gonna tell me to go in my room for 15 minutes and then ask me if everything's okay? And then we're gonna have a conversation about what happened. And these kids are smart. Like they're not dumb. Yeah. Like all I have to do is say, "Oh, I'm sorry," but I do the same shit again next week. Like I see that shit all the time. I'm excited to see these kids who have had these phones in their faces their entire childhood. Oh, look at my son. Look at my daughter. Look at him do this. Like this little milestone. He fucking did nothing. But like, let me exaggerate. But like. Let me like you have to give me an explanation. Let a young black man tell a cop that you need to give me an explanation. Like you see what I'm saying? Like I'm entitled. I don't care about authority because if the worst thing that's gonna happen to me is timeout, I am cool with it. I didn't do shit because I knew it would fucking hurt. If you know what I'm saying? Like if I was in school and I fucked up, like these kids fuck up in school and they go home and say, oh, my mom's just gonna try to get me a therapist or something like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like me, if I fucked up in school, I was scared to death to go home. I didn't want her to see my report card. So you know what? I didn't fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like I knew there was a consequence to my actions, and I knew the consequence was worse than the action. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
I see what you're saying, and you're right. A lot of society has really played on that because society has really they stepped into the household, told parents what they can and can't do,
exactly,
and then stepped out. And now you have people who don't know how to be parents because most parents don't even know themselves. You can't be a parent if you don't know yourself. Because what you're doing is you're trying to raise another mini you. And how's the proper way to say it? You're trying to raise a mini you without having your flaws.
Yeah.
And teaching a proper way so they have a more prosperous life. Yep. But you yourself still don't know how to make that prosperous life. You know what I mean?
Right.
So in a way, it's a fuck show. It's a shit show as a parent. But you try your best. I think what nowadays and it is not it is mainly idolize everything. So we made our kids into little idols, which now they feel like, okay, if I don't like it, I'm gonna go talk to my teacher and tell them. I've heard it so many times. Oh, I'm gonna go. call DCF. I'm gonna call DCF on you, mom, if you hit me. I wish my son would. Bye-bye. Go to foster care.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Enjoy
I don't
that
have
shit.
to.
I was like, go get touched. No.
Go ahead. Oh my God. I mean,
Can you get a close up on my face when you said
go get touched.
that?
You know? And the thing is, at the end, like, what we don't realize is that children. That was a good one. Children are little scientists, someone once said, and it's the truest thing, because the thing is, not every child born is as naive as we like to make them think.
Right.
You know, if you think about it,
They had to learn to breathe.
you know, you have to learn that, okay, if you cry at a certain time or a certain way, they'll give you food. You're learning responses at a young age, you know?
Cause and effect. Yeah.
Cause and effect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I throw a tantrum,
This happens.
mom's going to come over here and run at me. So now every time I want something, I'm throwing a tantrum because I know that gets their attention. That's why when my son used to throw a tantrum, I used to let his ass scream.
Word.
Scream and scream. And then after a while, he'll look at me. I'm like, are you done? Because he
And,
learned
then,
real quick.
and you realize that didn't get the reaction that he wanted. And so he just doesn't do it anymore.
Oh my! And when he used to fall down and get hurt, I wouldn't run over. Oh my gosh! I'd be like, "You all right?"
Yeah, stand
gets
up.
up,
You good?
you know?
Are you bleeding?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
And then
good.
sometimes now he'll fall down, he'll get hurt, stuff like that. But unless it's something with me involved, then he's gonna be like, "Oh, Dad, I'm really hurt." I'm like, "You ain't hurt. I just saw you throw yourself down the slide, trying to do like crazy,
Like, right? Like, you just jumped off the jungle gym.
Landed on your back, got up, did a little walk, shook that leg, and went
you
back
knocked
to
the wind out of you, and you still kept going. You're good.
You're good.
Yeah, no,
But-
it's just it's a fine line.
It is. Now,
You can't tell people how to parent their kids.
Do you think it's because a lot of people parent their children out of the woes that they didn't have?
I think people are trying to give their kids the life that they wish they had growing up, not realizing that the life that they had growing up was the best thing that ever happened to
That
them.
made them the person they were.
Exactly.
Just all you do is just take out the negative shit, like the
But-
touching, or the you gotta you take that.
But
stuff
you
out
think
and
about
put
it like you have to think about it. If you come from a healthy household, whether you was a single parent or your mom wasn't doing shit because she didn't like you. Your mom wasn't doing shit because she hated you. She didn't want you. Your mom was doing shit because she cared about you.
Yeah.
She was doing all of this out of love. And if you think that at some point in your childhood that what they were doing was wrong, then you're basically questioning whether or not like were you're doing it out of the goodness of your heart. Like you can't. Like I take my mom, right? Like, and I feel like I had a healthy household growing up. It was just a single parent, my mom, but she didn't have everything. She didn't have a lot of money coming up. You know what I'm saying? Like it was four of us, and me and my brother were twins. Like she didn't know she was having two kids at one time. Like it was four of us, and it was a single mom, and we didn't have much. But she fucking did everything she could to make sure we was on the straight path, that we went to school, that we had food and a house over our head, she was at the dinner table doing our homework with us. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like she's been far removed from school since, so she's spending an hour before we even get started on homework to learn the material so she can help us with it.
Yeah.
Like you see what I'm saying? Like. So for me to think that if growing up there was anything that she did that I think I should subtract from growing up with my kid, if not add to it, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's me being disrespectful to her.
That's not true because, like, you know what I'm saying? Like she could still did things wrong. Doesn't mean she didn't love you. That means she just did something wrong.
That she
You know
made
what
a
I mean?
mistake?
She made a mistake. That's just being human.
But
though.
when
That's not,
when I
you
talk,
can always take it out. Though.
but what we're talking about is like not these minor mistakes, but like
I'm
like conditional.
Maybe like beating your ass too much or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but she's never like you know what I'm saying.
I know what you're
saying.
Example, like beating your ass too much. You can subtract it. Like
Yeah, no, I know what you
like
mean.
you spilled some juice, pop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like you can take that out.
But then again, that's the reason I said healthy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like not some old like
No, but
she's pissed off
But
in the
real
day.
quickly,
So
can we just I just want to touch base on what Benny said, because there's a lot of parents that parent out of frustration.
yeah.
And they're thinking it's healthy because like, oh my gosh, you shouldn't be doing this, not realizing their actions are way overboard to the action that happened.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like slap your kid because he spilled milk.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Why don't you sit there and be like, what were you doing? Like, aren't you thinking you saw
Or
the
just
milk at
pick
the
it up
age?
and clean it up. You made a mess, clean it up. That's
You know?
it. Like but like that. But I think that's the reason I stressed healthy.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like
We gotta stress that.
yeah,
a
that's
lot.
the reason I
These
stress
facts,
healthy
yeah.
because like I don't like my mother. She did.
I
make
mean, even
mistakes, you know
healthy
what I'm saying?
stuff could be healthy to them, but after you really think about it, like, oh, that
That could have been. That could have been.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
You always look at it this way.
You know
It
what
could
I
have
mean?
been handled a different way.
Yeah, she could have been raised a certain way, and you know what I mean. But you think about it now, like, damn, that's kind of fucked up.
And and I get what you guys
Well, it's just
saying. No.
being human.
I get it. And human, and it's natural.
Trial and error.
And it's not, and it's cause and effect. Yes, that's the fucking name of the episode. But like, yes, cause and effect because of the situation. Yes. All right, but yes, I got my job back.
Man, it's like what? It was like 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah,
or
man,
no?
fucking-
Was it 2 weeks in a row?
Two Tails stole my
Two Tails.
Two Tails. And then Amanda.
Well, that was like the okay.
But
listen, sorry.
Well, no, you're right though. People aren't. It is natural that the human being is flawed, and I get that. And you know what I mean. Like, and my mother, when she made a mistake, she would always own up to it, which is something I always admired about her. You know what I'm saying? Like, she always owned up to her flaws. Even till this day, she still does that shit.
Yeah.
And like, so let's stress again the healthy, or what we would all consider healthy.
Yeah.
I think that I see a lot of people, and it's cool because I guess in order to grow, you have to challenge the status quo. And I get that. You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
So in order to grow, you have to challenge the status quo. And I think that I like that people are taking initiatives to raise their kids in a different environment or try to do something a little different. But I also think that it's important to keep some core values to how you grew up if you became a decent individual.
You know what?
Contributing human
If
being.
you even look at the animal kingdom, right, itself, right?
All right, I'm gonna stop you
Go
really
ahead.
quick. It's bothering the shit out of me. Can you just pull that red hair off of your jacket right there? Rose got Rose's hair. Shouldn't even got red hair anymore, right?
red hair. That's like 3 hair cycles ago.
3 hair cycles.
It was just bothering the shit out of me for like 20 minutes.
I did notice you were focused over there. I was like, what's
I was like, what? I'm like, I gotta go closer to the mic. Like, what is it? Like,
Yeah, I did notice that.
It was bothering the shit out of me.
this has not been to the house for a while.
It's
So
been
I think
here,
it's like
right?
the
Yeah.
first time
Rosa
she had red
hasn't
hair.
had red hair in fucking ever.
A long time. Yeah, crazy.
It ain't Rosa.
All right, back to the animal kingdom.
Yeah.
No, but you know, like even animals like chastise their cubs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, they'll snarl, they'll growl, they'll grab real quickly and stuff like that. You know,
Yeah.
but after a while, you gotta let your kid grow. I think as humans though, we should have that chance because right now I'm finding this with my mom, where we actually sit down and we talk about things from the past.
Yeah.
Because believe it or not, things from the past of childhood stick with you if you never let it go. It sits in the
Yeah.
back of your mind. You try to put it. So you gotta have that
And it
conversation.
affects you. Yeah.
It does affect you.
Mm-hmm.
You got you remember, like, or even say, hey, ma, you know, this time, blah blah blah. They might not remember it, and don't hold them fault to it because to them it wasn't. I guess you could say as traumatic as well. Because if you think about anything that sticks to you, that's negative, normally a traumatic thing that you remember.
Yeah.
It's either traumatic or really extremely happy. You know, you remember both.
For Benny, it was touching.
Touching myself. Started young.
Started young.
Ooh, what's this?
This feels good.
Like,
No. Listen. You can't say you all didn't try that.
No, I've never tried it.
You never saw it? Like
No.
the first time when you're young, it's been wonder,
No,
like, you know.
never did it. On everything I love, I've never done that.
Wow.
Taste your own icing. Ugh, gross.
You just see it a lot. You see so many girls doing porn. You're wondering, like, how good does it taste?
In my mind, it was a reason it was the girl doing it. All right,
I mean, there's
I ran.
Iran. Where'd you run to?
I
oh,
ran.
wait, one more thing. I just want to touch on the whole
Touching.
asking why thing. I feel like you should teach your kids to ask why, but you should teach them
How?
the time.
Circumstances
The
to
time.
ask why.
Like if you get pulled over, you know, whatever, fine, don't fuck with the cop. But after, if he did something wrong, go fucking report him and say, hey, why did this happen? Blah blah. There should always be a certain time because I mean,
It's nothing wrong with kids being inquisitive.
No, it's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
because
yeah.
there's a
But
lot
you
of kids in school,
need to
like,
teach
and that's
them
how they
when.
learn. Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's nothing wrong with kids being inquisitive. And
no, yeah.
I guess you can point them in the right direction if they want to know, like,
It has to be a
why
balance.
am I doing this? Yes, there has to be a balance.
Because you
But
had that
how
kid
do
in
you-
class who's
but
being
how do
lied
you,
too
but
much.
how do you teach
Yeah,
it?
yeah, yeah.
But how do you teach a kid balance?
By example.
Well, I get that.
well, when the situation
like-
comes up,
You just have to deal with
You see-
situationally.
Yeah. So if he's at, like, so my son's in school, very respectable kid, but just does stupid shit every now and then because he'll see other kids do it, which is typical, right?
Yeah.
You know, like, so one kid was throwing water on a door in the bathroom. So my son grabs the thing and does the same thing, right? Teacher writes a note, gives him the note, but knows that my son might throw away the note, so calls me too.
Yeah.
So he comes in, he's all happy, he's loving, hey, Dad, how you doing? Everything, we loving each other. I said, good, how's your day? He's like, oh, it was a typical Friday, Dad, did my homework and everything. I said, okay. I said, really? I said, well, Did the teacher give you anything for me?
Dumb.
He looks at me, he goes, nah, nothing at all.
Lying.
Now he's lying. So I'm like, okay. I said, yo, let me see
You
your backpack.
gave him a
though.
chance, too.
I gave him a chance. I said, let me see your backpack. He's, oh, the only thing my teacher gave me was this right here, a reminder thing. Played it good. I was like, all right. So she didn't give you no note? No note written about what you did in the bathroom? Then you get that face. The face. You know the face that like.
Oh, that no.
That no. He goes, oh.
Let me look for it.
He goes, yeah. He's like, oh, you know what? Yo, Dad, I left it at school. I said, oh, did you? Because she told me she's like, I put it in his backpack right before he went on the bus. So I know. So I'm like, all right. So I said, let's go to the school. I said, if it's not there, oh, you getting it.
Yeah.
You getting it right in front. Because now you done lied to me and I already know.
And now we're wasting time.
Now we're wasting time.
Yeah.
And I'm going to drive to school. And he's like, oh, you know what? I did leave it on the bus. I pulled that car over so quick. We had a nice conversation.
And he whooped his ass.
I didn't. I was going to.
Yeah.
So, but I'm like, you know what? I said, spanking you for this, because this is something he does out of fear. He tells, he lies out of fear, which I understand.
Yeah.
So I think beating him is just adding more to that fear of. So I told him, listen, I said, you get nothing, and I'm gonna let you know right now. Anything you tell me, I'm not believing you right off the bat. Yeah. So he's saying, oh, I beat, like he played, he calls my grandmother Aji. That's what we always say. He's like, yo, I beat Aji in a game. I said, I don't believe you. I don't. He was so tight, because it was like a game of Scrabble, So he was in tears. So I said, you know what? Let me call up Aji. I called her up. Say, hey, Ma, did Jaden beat you in this game when you were watching him? She goes, yeah. I said, okay. I said, I got to ask because he lied. She's like, oh, yeah. Yep, I understand. She did the whole grandma thing.
Yeah.
Don't lie to your dad because he wouldn't have to call you. You wouldn't be crying, because now everything he does, I have to ask.
So, but now there is a consequence to his actions.
There is, yeah. And
You
there's
know what I'm saying? And you can see that it is affecting him.
Yeah, because he's tight now.
Yeah, because he wants you to take his word. He wants you to believe him. He wants you to believe in him. Like, you know what I mean? Like he won't do it again because this hurts. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's not just a physical thing. Like, this hurts.
Oh, yeah. He plays Pokemon, so we're playing cards. He's like, I'm going to do this. I'm like, nah, you cheated. I saw you pull that from the deck. Even though I didn't. Yeah. I'm saying, he's like, no, why do you think I'm not lying? Yeah. But the thing is, I want him so annoyed of being a liar
that he just won't do it again. Yeah.
Maybe I feel that's a different way because if I keep on popping him, I popped him once. Popped him twice, but I'm like, you know what? Popping him again is not because he does lie because I know he's scared. Because he sees me angry, he realized he's already too deep into the lie.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh shit.
Yeah, it's always funny when you dig yourself in too deep and you're just trying to like scramble on your way out. But yeah, I remember one time I threw an Arizona can out of my car, and a cop was doing a traffic light. I drove maybe a half a mile, and then the cop pulls me over. He tells me to pull over with his hands, and he's like, go get that. I said, all right. I tried to turn around. I said, no. Get out. Walk back.
Oh.
Get the can and like take it with you until you find a trash can. Since then, I've never littered a day in my life.
So he watched you walk all the way there.
That was 15 years ago. I've never done it.
And I still would have gave your ass a ticket.
He was like, this is worse. It was raining too.
Oh, yeah. So
and there was a line of cars. He was like, nope. Get out, walk.
And he had the lights shining, made sure you walk.
He said, walk and go pick it up. He said, I couldn't go anywhere. He made me get out my car. My car was sitting right there.
Yeah.
So it's not like I could just walk off. Like, my car's right there. So he's like, get out, go back and pick it up. I was like, you know what? You're right. I walked half a mile to go get that shit, and he waited. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he stood there. He's like, all right, go ahead. I was like, fuck. I was like, I'm never doing this shit again. I have not since littered. I've literally, people get in my car and they know the rule. Like, you can't
drop anything. Yeah, no.
Litter. Like, we're gonna cross a trash can at some point.
Yep.
And it's not doing me any harm by sitting in this, like, right? It's not doing you any harm by like sitting right here, like, and this ain't your car.
Yeah, I hate that shit too when people litter. That's just fucking
it's
so stupid. Yeah. And then you see like a fucking trash can like right there, and there'd be trash on the floor. Like what?
Like are you kidding me? Like.
I hate that, especially when you go to like the car cleaners. You see people clean their car and they don't throw it in the trash bin. They just take it and throw it out on the side.
Yeah,
the trash bin's like fucking right there. I'm sitting like, yo, this is why we can't have shit.
People are gross.
I seen a dude throw a whole pizza box out of his car.
Damn.
out of the front window. It's like.
I don't get it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're going too cross. You can just put that pizza box in the back seat. You won't see it until you get to where you're going, and then throw it out. That's all it takes. Littering to me is one of the worst things you can do because it's so easy not to do it.
Yeah.
I don't understand either.
All right, but we're going to war, guys.
We're
going to war.
On drugs? What?
On preserving oil in Saudi Arabia. We're going.
Oh my gosh.
We're going to war, guys, and it's re-election year. We always go to war.
It's so funny how they're talking about like the draft and World War III, but let's. I feel like we are like so educated enough that like even if they do put a draft in, like, what are you fighting for?
Oh, we're good.
You know what I mean?
We're older than 26, and all three of us need glasses. We're fine.
Is that actually a fucking disqualification?
Bad eyesight? Yeah.
Nah, they'll
Right? Just give you LASIK or some shit.
They'll give you LASIK, man.
Like, why I
They'll
gotta
give you LASIK.
just to go fight? Like, no.
Hey, you know what?
But
I'm gonna be honest. They might not make it to 26. They might make the millennials. They hate us. They're like, yo.
I seen somebody say that if you voted for Trump, you're the first person that got to sign up.
Yeah.
I saw that. That's hilarious, and I agree.
You know what though? There's lots of ways to look at it. In Obama's administration, he had so many drone strikes.
Yeah, what?
He had so many drone strikes on innocent people. Ridiculous amount of death. Legitly, I think there's a movie out on it too. The kids are like legitly scared to walk outside because you can't see these drones.
Yeah,
But these kids know now. They can look up. They'll sit up there. They're like, see that right there? See that thing? That's a drone. That's how well they know they can see it.
So it's like that's a war that he didn't start. Like I know a lot of people like to bring in those numbers about like what about under his administration, like what happened.
But you have a chance to stop those innocent killings.
Unfortunately, collateral damage is a word for a reason. My Nick, like this is
you're right. You're absolutely right. 100%.
Like as much as we don't like it, this is war. Like that's what war is. Like you know what I'm saying?
But
like we have just been fortunate enough where nobody had the capability to do it to us. Like you know what I'm saying? Like
our war though isn't a war because our way of life is being threatened. Isn't a war because somebody's trying to wipe us out. Our war is just out of pure greed for resources that we want to monopolize. Yeah. It's our war.
It's always been about oil.
Of oil, central banking, everything.
It's always been about oil and swaying votes. Like, you see what I'm saying?
You're
like,
right.
It's always been about always been about money and swaying votes. Like if you notice, every time we like when the re-election comes up on a president that we're not sure is going to make it into the second term, like something like this happens to sway votes. 9/11, they found a way to use that to sway votes. Like I highly doubt that George Bush would have got a second term if 9/11 wasn't a thing. Like you know what I mean?
Investigate 9/11.
Like Cheney did 9/11. But no. So what I'm saying is like people like to bring in the fact that like under the Barack administration, the Obama administration, that he did do all this, but my guy, he's not the one saying we have to do this. We have to do this. Like there is an entire military level chain of command.
You had 8 years,
but he no. Last time I remember, he got Osama bin Laden.
Yeah,
like the nigga
you got.
It wasn't like saying, remember
you're
how
saying you got the agent that we trained, and everything. We got him, and we got him. Come on,
they got him. At least
they already had him. But either way, you're 6'7" on dialysis.
So
my dude, living in the mountains.
So that's a like that's a theory. Like I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
I throw that out there for the
no. I get that. So like that's a theory. You know what I'm saying? Like to me, I personally think they had him all along too. Like, but it's a theory. So from what I'm going from is information that has been delivered.
The news.
And I know the news is fucked up. And I know it's corrupted and swayed.
Where's your information?
I get that.
You can't.
Like you know what I'm saying? Like
but
that's what everybody else is getting their information from too.
You're right, and that's
you see what I'm saying? Like so that's the level playing field.
So much that we believe everything.
But that's the level playing field. You see what I'm saying? Like that's the playing field that everybody has to go off of, because other than that, it's just theory and speculation. Like
that's what I'm getting at. But we've become sheep. We've become to a point
100%.
where they say we do this. We're like, okay, well, to stay here and to keep our freedoms, I'm going over there. Don't get me wrong.
I remember when everybody loved Joe Biden when he was Obama's vice president. Now all of a sudden you get information from somewhere like a news source. Now everybody's turned on Joe Biden. Like you see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like I hear you. Yeah. Like at one point, at one point, Parks and Rec did an episode where she was like, "He is a national treasure. You protect him at all costs," talking about Joe Biden. But like one news article comes out and everybody's like, "Oh fuck Joe Biden." Like, and I'm not that I'm in a politics or anything. Let me start by that disclaimer. Like I don't follow politics. Like I am lower middle class. Like the hood's still gonna be the hood. Like you know what I mean? Like whether it was Obama or whether it was Trump, this is still this.
You're
like
right, gonna affect you.
Right. Like,
and that's another thing. It doesn't really. That's another big concern. A lot of us, this shit's not gonna affect.
Right.
We're just gonna either be pawns sent off to deal with it, or pawns to have to work harder to fix it
and pay a little bit more in taxes and shit like that. Yeah, absolutely.
That's it.
But I forgot my original point.
Sorry.
Oh no. Obama's administration about the drone strikes, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's war. We just happen to have not seen it on our end because it hasn't reached our shores yet. But it actually kind of has. 9/11 was one of those things that hit our shores. You see what I'm saying? Like, Obama inherited that war. The war was going on before Obama got into office.
Yeah, but you don't go.
And they were killing. But we were in Iraq. Like, I don't know if, like, there's movies on it too. Like, we were in Iraq. Like, we were in these places and killing women and children that had nothing to do with this. That shit happens all the time. Vietnam wasn't even that long ago. You see what I'm saying? Like, boots on the ground mean boots on the ground. Like, and unfortunately, if you're a soldier and if we're out there, and we had last week, there was a kid who had a fucking bomb vest on that came up to our tanks and killed my brothers. Like, you see what I'm saying? I can't take that chance. And unfortunately, that's what collateral damage is. I can't take that chance, and that's a scary thing.
You're right. You are right. War is war. You're gonna always have war. You're never gonna have a peaceful time because
as long as there's difference,
as long as there's difference of things, and as long as there's somebody else who has more interest. You know, I know I could expand and make my country better if I could get this.
As long as there's a class difference, as long as there's a racial difference, as long as there's any kind of difference in the world, war will be prevalent.
So here's my thing, right? If a war does break out, right, and Africa decides to unite as a country, will y'all move there?
Well, I mean, not him.
Why not? They got white people in Africa.
South Africa. All right, you're right. The biggest continent in the world?
The biggest country, they say.
Is it the biggest continent, or is Asia the biggest continent?
It's the biggest continent.
It is, right?
Yeah.
The biggest continent in the world decides to unite.
Because there's also that too. There's this one, I forgot his name.
People always hear Africa and think like the jungle and shit like that.
I just think of Wakanda now.
See, that's South Africa. They just like us. But if they unite, man, we're American, dude. We had that conversation.
We did.
We're American. Like, if we want to stop,
here's the thing.
We are what we are.
So for you to fight in a war, regardless if you know it's stupid, is that out of the pure love
of my country,
and of your country, or of your family and the freedoms they get being here?
So, and this is the one reason, like, not one reason, but like I salute every troop out there.
Hell yeah.
Because the reason this shit hasn't hit our doorstep is because there are people like that who are out there fighting for us. Like, even if they're fighting a greedy war, even if they're fighting whatever, like, it doesn't matter how it started. It doesn't matter how the war started, because at some point these other people are going to retaliate, and our people are over there making sure that doesn't happen. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, the reason we put boots on ground is because we are trying to contain the threat to where it is. Like, we're not trying to bring it over here, and that's why I salute our troops, because they're dying and they're getting hurt and they're coming back to nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, so with this, to preserve these freedoms that we have.
With this generation as it is, would you say that the United States then should do what, like, Israel does and mandate 2 years of service and then free college tuition afterwards?
Like, mandate for each citizen?
No, yeah, for each citizen. You graduate, you do 2 years of service, and then after that you get to go to college free.
Unfortunately, America goes to war way too frequently for me to think I would want to do that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, unfortunately,
so that's what I'm saying. Like
we do some crazy shit way too frequently for me to be like.
See, I'm gonna tell you this. I was thinking about this on the way over here.
I'll take my 40,000 college debt.
America is that country. Everybody wants to see their ass gets kicked, but America is that country that nobody wants to see fall. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, if you think about it, America is the world police.
At least we act like it.
Hell yeah, we act like it.
At least we act like it.
We don't like what you did. Boom, democracy.
Yeah.
But niggas, that's not my. I don't want democracy. Fuck you. Boom. And give me some oil, bitch.
Do this our way. We know the right way.
It's all money.
Our children are wild.
It's all money and also big titties.
That's all war is money.
Well, it's a way to generate revenue and jobs and shit like that. It always
population
has been.
control.
It always has been. Like, if you notice, whenever we go into a crisis, a financial crisis, war.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? Like, whenever, you know what I mean? Like,
if they weren't making money, they wouldn't be fucking interfering in anything.
Well, everything has to make money.
That's what I'm saying. But if they weren't making money off of war, they wouldn't be interfering in anything.
Because if we're fighting to help your country from whoever, you gotta pay us. Huh? You know?
Yeah. Don't nobody do nothing for free no more. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I really wonder how much they made off of World War II.
I just seen Trump's tweet said they sent over $1 trillion worth of new military equipment.
But another thing too. Do you know that the equipment stays there? They don't bring that shit back.
Yeah.
So when they legitimately pull our soldiers from that place, they just pull the niggas out and leave everything else
Leave
there.
everything there. Now everybody has a bunch of new shit.
Why do you think some of these niggas are using like our trucks and stuff like that against us and everything? Like, don't get me wrong, they pull like
a new Humvee.
We just take the people in the
Like,
oil.
thank you, Allah.
I'm saying, that shit's crazy though when I heard that shit. So thank you.
No, it is crazy, but he's right. It's a great source of money.
That's all it is.
It's a great source of persuasion. It's a great way to rally. It's a great way to sway votes. You know what I'm saying? Like, war is nothing new.
It isn't.
War is nothing new.
That's another.
War is just a business.
That's the big thing I wanted to push through this whole thing. Like, everyone hyping up on World War III and everything.
I also think people are making too light of the situation. I think out of fear comes all these jokes and memes and shit like that.
Mad memes, right?
Yeah. Like and to be honest with you, like, the preservation of life isn't a joke. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, people, like you said, there are innocent people dying.
Yeah.
I believe yesterday there was a bombing on an American territory, and I forget what the country's name, and 28 people lost their lives. Like, it's not a joke. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of memes, and don't get me wrong, like, I've enjoyed them like the next person because they are pretty funny. But like, I feel like in today's age, like, it's just nobody takes anything serious anymore. Nobody takes anything serious anymore.
I think because we don't take ourselves serious.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We live superficial lives. We live, double lives through social media and everything like that. So there's no point
And we
of
all
really...
want attention, regardless of how we get it.
Exactly.
If you can share my shit 1,000 times, I'm validated. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just all want that attention. Like, I don't know. They're making way too light of the situation, and I feel like we really are about to enter a new war. Like, you know what I mean?
I feel we're in. I don't see it's something because it's. If Russia and China backs Iran, then I'm taking it serious. I'll be honest. I'll be dead ass. That's the only way I'll take it serious. Because then now you have official threats. Right now we have guerrilla warfare like threats. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And the fact that we're in a war and still not locking down our borders for extremists that we've known have history about it is also open mind. So it's pretty much like we're going to get a hit back. Everybody knows it. But because, like, I feel our government's not acting appropriately to what they just did. You just took out the number one general of a country.
Yep.
Who's our number one? Who? I don't know. Some Republican that I don't really care about. I know that's so bad to say. I know people are gonna be like, "Yo, talk shit to me." Though.
But they're not gonna make it over here. What they're gonna do is attack territories that are over there that are American.
Yeah, but you know what territories are also close? Puerto Rico, Guam.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
But I mean, like American naval bases. I mean, American military.
You don't need to hit a military base. You want to make a statement.
They already did.
You know.
Yeah.
Like but you
2
keep
days
on making
ago, they already did.
But the thing is, you're gonna keep on making it because think about it. When all you could do is throw rocks. You gotta understand, these are people who throw rocks when they can't fire.
Yeah.
A rocket launcher, my nigga. Like this is like, you know. So you're gonna have a lot of angry bees poking until you freaking get the whole hive. You know. So why aren't we acting like? Why isn't our government acting like they just started a war or that they kind of fucked with the beehive? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They
poked the beehive.
I was trying not to.
I was thinking that same shit.
Shoot, don't put Beyonce. But dead ass though, you say some shit about Beyonce, the whole world will be upset. About
Our show's already canceled. Our show's already canceled.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
How do we put like military bases in other countries? They let us do that shit?
Like we took this country, we take part of that territory.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Because I was wondering, like, why would they just like when you start flying in, why don't they just shoot you down?
Because everybody has an embassy.
So you have to assess the threat, like we talk cause and effect, right? Yeah. Do we shoot down this plane? And
no, I'm talking about us. Like when we go over there, like
that's what I'm saying. Like,
okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like they have to assess the threat. Like it's Iran. Like granted, like Iran is a terrorist state. Like it's fucking. It's nuts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, but like they have to assess the threat. Like if we shoot down these planes or if we cause trouble on that base, then we have to deal with an all-out assault.
True.
Like, you know what I mean? So like we can't just do that because in the interest of our own people.
And plus, I believe that we pay lots of money to have a piece of like an embassy in each country that we have an embassy in, just because that is technically United States soil that we've bought.
So even if you have like a war going on over there, I don't know. That's weird. Like
You still got to play chess, brother.
that's
You know
still
what I'm
weird.
saying?
Like okay, but I'm not gonna let you come have a base in my country if we're having war. Like
But also think about that. Like
No, but think about it.
Also think about that. Like if that's the case, right?
yeah,
Like if they could find a way to stop us from coming over, what is this little thing gonna do here? Like, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like,
But it's still a
it
threat,
seems crazy,
you
right?
know what I mean?
But I don't think like and to his point, I don't think we asked.
Yeah.
Like I don't think we asked to be there. I think we say, "Fuck you,
Exactly.
we're right here."
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like that's it's the biggest sword argument. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's the biggest sword argument. Like
But they easily have here because you've heard of
That's
a lot
some
of those
bully
times
shit.
of like foreign people in their embassies not being turned
Well, that's
over.
what I'm saying. I know they have embassies because once you have an embassy is part of that country, so you can't go in there and just do whatever the fuck you want. But like you have an army base, like I understand it might be considered like an embassy or something like that, right? Army base.
Yeah, but if you have a
if you have an army base, like you know
why
what I
not
mean?
just take over that army base?
Just take that shit over. You
'Cause
can't come
here's the
back.
thing.
and
you have
like,
to assess the.
Here's the
the
thing:
reaction.
if they do destroy an army base, that's pretty much just saying like, all right, well,
yeah.
we're coming over,
we're
guys.
coming over there, and then now we're taking over everything, and now Iran is now an Iran territory of the United States of America. You know,
I ran this bitch. Like, but not like it sounds mad insensitive. But no, it is what it is, man. It's a bully tactic. You know what I mean? At least I think, because like again, I don't really know.
I don't know either. I don't know shit about
Like,
politics.
so
I don't
full
know.
disclaimer,
Whatever.
we don't know much about this shit. Mav might know the most about it, but like I'm just assuming that. And you know, it's never good to assume, right?
Yeah.
You should look like an ass, but like I'm just assuming that it
but is it
what
assuming really, or is it like looking at the
It's-
history of
it's-
America?
To me, it's human behavior. I have the bigger stick, so I'm gonna say,
And
hey, I like this right here. Fuck you.
thank you.
Do something.
Thank
Like you
you.
see what I'm saying?
But
Say,
you know
say
what
that
I'm
one more
saying?
time.
It's a
Human
process, though.
behavior, though,
It's human.
because
it's
regardless
basic
of where you
behavior.
go, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just weird though because it's a process. Like you got to literally bring shit over
Yeah.
to like set up a fucking base. Like you got to bring boats and all kinds of crazy
you said
shit.
it before. What does war do?
It's just money.
It generates money.
Yeah, yeah.
So now we have the money to do it. Like you see what I'm saying?
Think about it. You go to your Congress and say, listen, I need about $3 trillion because I need to make this base over here a fort now. They're like, you know what? To protect our country. So now we're in debt.
Yeah. For
Here
$3
you
trillion.
go. Trillion. Trillion. I never do shit. Don't judge me.
It's probably a real number. Who knows?
I legitimately, it's like, what sounds higher than a trillion? Trillion. I like it.
But it just is what it is, man. Like human behavior, right?
Human
Cause
behavior.
and effect, man.
And that's it all comes down to it. I mean, even your very religion of Christianity is broken down to that. The very first two kids, one brother killed the other because he just was out of jealous that he,
Cain and Abel?
Cain and Abel.
Yeah.
That's what we're raised on. We're raised
I was
on the
raised
show.
on Cain and Undertaker.
Facts. I thought they were brothers. Yeah, we all did. Then we
I
find
know,
out.
bastards, right?
I always thought that. Yeah.
I thought they were brothers. I was so sad when I found out that was fake, and then I just questioned all of the WWF.
Yo, for real.
And
When
that's when you started questioning it.
Yes.
When I found out it was fake, I was like, nah,
It
it
broke my
can't be.
spirit.
All this time you sat there watching as a kid. I had to tell my son sooner when he watched. I said, that shit's fake. So I tell you now. don't
I
want
like
you-
how they like now they tell you that it's fake. We're fucking
Yeah.
we're soap opera. That's what they.
Yeah,
they
it's
tell you,
entertainment.
But still,
yeah.
yeah.
But it's still now. It's still dope. You know what I mean? You still
I mean, I don't watch it anymore.
I stopped once like NWO. Like, how did we get here?
I don't know.
I stopped once like the WCW NWO thing, or like I watched it for a little bit for the Attitude Era with the Rock and
Yeah, that's when
Stone
that's
Cold.
when it was a shit.
That
That's
was
when
my
it was-
shit.
Yeah, yeah.
I
After
still watch
that,
those highlights.
And they started bringing like all these fucking cartoon like character
Yeah.
wrestlers and shit. That's when I stopped watching. I was like, what the fuck is this?
They got the Booty-O cereal and shit like that. Yeah, no. We should have, that's what we're gonna no, we got the other guys coming next week, right? Who do we got? Poe? So we got Poe coming next week. I was gonna say we should have a whole episode just dedicated to like old school and new school wrestling.
Ooh, maybe we can find one of those wrestlers that do it at the Eastville Mall to come through and be on the show.
Are there wrestlers at Eastville?
Yeah, sometimes they do.
Yeah,
like,
they do, right?
They do that, and they have the people come through to sign like the old.
Yo, they got the midget wrestlers coming.
When is that?
I don't know, but I saw it on Facebook.
Is it gonna be at Eastville?
I don't know.
We
I
should
know
see
it's-
we should-
it's somewhere in Springfield,
wherever
I
it
think.
is.
Can I ask you guys-
Wherever it is, we should see if we can get a slot to do our podcast live from it. That'd be fucking
Can I ask
awesome.
you guys, why is it like just so entertaining watching midgets fight?
Would you sleep with a midget?
Oh hell yeah, it's already on my to. No, like if there's a bad
Not
one,
midget, little person. It's little. Person.
regardless, little person, midget, dwarf, I'm smashing.
Yeah.
Damn, a dwarf is fucking shorter than a fucking midget, right? It's like fucking
Hobbit.
I love how you went like
a hobbit. Damn.
a hobbit is proportionate.
It still got hairy feet.
A hobbit is not real.
No, it's not. Yo, we should have said yeah. Yes, they are. They're from Australia, bro.
He's like, wait a minute, those aren't real, right?
New Zealand, actually.
I think he started Googling that shit.
Shit, they do exist. Just like elves and black people.
No, like, yeah, we are. So,
Where
like,
we at?
we are,
Where we
we
at
are
for time?
literally a representation of what ADHD looks like in somebody's brain.
This is
Yeah, we can start wrapping it up.
Yeah, what time is
wrap
it?
up.
It's been an hour. Get the fuck out of there.
fuck
Now, guys, this has been great.
I love this episode. This has been a good time.
Ask us some questions. Hashtag LTAD. And as always, thank you for watching. But who wraps it up? Benny, right? Or
Yeah,
no?
It's usually-
so yeah.
yeah.
Well, he wraps it up and then I tell him.
And then I just don't want to say the last thing, so I'm trying to say the hashtag now.
Word.
So yeah, so fucking yeah. Follow us on Instagram,
Word.
Facebook.
Word.
Do we have anything else? Do we have Twitter?
We have a Twitter, but
we don't
yeah.
use that
I don't.
shit.
I have Twitter. I still don't use it. 'Cause
I love Twitter.
I'm trying not to be like Biachi and get caught on porn and
On
shit like
porn,
that. But it's
yeah.
shit so.
That's all my Twitter is.
Yo, I followed one gamer. Sorry, I know we're supposed
Yeah,
to close, but I gotta say this shit. I followed one gamer. Now I get all these fucking depressed gamers. So I started following porn stars. Oh my gosh, such a change in my life. You
It's
might like
beautiful,
this person.
right?
Yes, I would like this person. You say some crazy shit.
I think I do. Like,
you know what I mean?
yeah, no, I love Twitter. I just
and
can't
I
open
mean-
my Twitter at work.
I don't. I used to follow politics, but that's shit.
Yeah, they have
that's
like 2 separate accounts. And
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
dead ass.
Like I can't open Twitter at work.
All right, but follow us. All that shit I already told you. Listen to us on SoundCloud, Google Podcasts, was it Apple Podcast,
Apple Podcasts,
YouTube.
Spotify.
Watch us there. Spotify. That's it. Spotify? No,
Yeah, no, I did.
I don't know.
Yeah, Spotify.
But yeah, just listen to us everywhere.
Listen
we're
to
everywhere.
us. Shout out to all the cops and soldiers too.
Oh,
Do the right thing.
and I just enabled. If you go on our, you gotta put it on our Facebook, but you can leave us a voice message asking us questions or anything like that.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I put it on the IG and all that. But you can leave us voice messages talking shit about us if you want.
No, yes, because we should have. Yo, please leave it because we should play those and then answer them. That would be dope.
Yeah. Well, if you
This
leave
is
a
for
message, we'll
Biachi.
play it on the show.
What's my number? Yo, Matt, why you hate black people? I don't hate black people. Nigga. I want us to succeed.
That is my New Year's resolution: is to get mad to love black people.
That'll
Yo,
never
people have
happen.
asked. People have asked me. I love black people.
Have people been asking you that?
Yo, for real, people say, but I'm not. I think more of an extremist of where I want to see black people now. Like I'm tired of seeing us on the gutter. Like we're the only people who got our freedom and then continued working for the people.
Because we ain't free.
We didn't.
All right, guys, we ended this.
All right, yeah.
I know. Sorry, not that bad. Bye.
All right,
Next
bye,
time.
everybody.
All right, man. Peace. We out.